Carl DeMaio joins us, former city councilman, former candidate for mayor, now running for Congress. And Carl, you have a big announcement today. We have to wait till the official announcement time, or can you share it with us now? They'll still show up for the press conference, won't they?
Of course they will.
Yeah.
No, today's tax day, and millions of Americans, thousands of San Diegans are rushing to get those tax forms in and pay their bills to the government. So
the government can spend it like drunken sailors. No offense to actual drunken sailors.
Exactly, and that is exactly why today we chose Tax Day to release the endorsement from the Howard Jarvis Taxpayers Association. They'll be joining me at a press conference at our campaign headquarters at 10 a.m. this morning to make that announcement. But, the Howard Jarvis Taxpayers Association is the most respected taxpayer advocacy group in the country. Obviously it started to defend Prop 13 in the 1970s. And it doesn't just oppose tax increases because we all agree that government doesn't need more money. It focuses on making sure that the money we do send to the federal, state, and local government is properly spent, efficiently spent. And that's why when you're fiscally conservative, it's not just about saying no to tax increases, it's about demanding that the money we already send to government is spent properly.
Yeah, on that note, I'm just looking at Steve Breen's cartoon in today's Daily Yacht in the UT, and it says April 15th, and then you see Blood Moon, and then there's a vampire bat that says IRS, it says Bloodsucker under it. So it's a nice touch. Yeah, but now here's the thing, but they do spend a whole lot more. We have more revenue going in than ever. We have a bigger government sea of red ink, 17 trillion or so, and that doesn't look like that's going to get any better anytime soon. Don't we have an unsustainable situation no matter what they tell us in D.C.? And certainly Congress has the purse strings. I mean, if you got back there and went to Congress, what would you do about it? Because it's a big to-do list.
It is a big to-do list, but remember when I ran for city council and took office in 2009, people said that the city was destined for bankruptcy, that more cuts in services on top of the draconian cuts that were already made were in order, that we had to raise taxes by the largest tax increase in the history of the city. All this, dire prediction was put out there, and I said, look, the problem isn't that people aren't sending enough money to City Hall. The problem is that you're not spending the money that we give you already properly. And we actually put out a comprehensive budget reform package, 360 pages showing where all the waste was, how you could save money, doing a lot of examination of how to reform the pension system. And then we led a coalition to get those reforms implemented. We were able to actually avert bankruptcy, balance the budget, and position our city so we could actually start putting services back into restoring services. And Kevin Faulconer's budget that was released yesterday really builds on the reforms that I was able to get done alongside him, alongside Mayor Sanders during those 4 years.
Carl DeMaio with us here, the Mark Larson Show, 1170 KCBQ. There's also the issues, the broader issues here in national defense and foreign policy and so forth. Vladimir Putin continues to basically not care at all about what we think about anything under this presidency. Yesterday, we have a Russian jet basically buzzing. We're getting too close to one of our Navy ships. You don't think that's coincidental, do you?
Of course not. Obviously, Russia is playing games as they did in Crimea, and unfortunately, our president, because of the erratic way he has conducted foreign policy for the past 5 years, has no credibility. On the world stage, President Obama does not command the sort of respect that prior presidents did. Even Bill Clinton had far more respect globally, that when he said enough is enough, world leaders took him seriously. And unfortunately, it looks like Russia is just completely ignoring any of the pleas from the White House. And it puts us in a very dangerous situation.
So what would you do about it? What do you do? If you're in Congress, how do you make it? Because Harry Reid's on the other side in the Senate, nixing everything that comes up.
Well, frankly, I think that we need to have Democrats who are willing to look beyond party label and put the country's interests first and go to their own president and say, look, the way in which you've conducted foreign policy is inexcusable. It puts us at a strategic disadvantage globally, and we want to have foreign policy that is principled. And when you say something, you have to mean it and you have to back it up. Perfect example is Syria. I think that this president sent a strong message to Russia that he's not serious about drawing lines in the sand when he drew a line in the sand in Syria, saying that he was going to go in and commit military forces to Syria. And the American people were like, no, this is none of our business. It's a civil war. We shouldn't be getting involved in this. Even many in his own party quietly, privately said that. But again, this is a guy, the president went out and made this statement before he actually even listened to where the American people were on this issue of Syria. And I think that Vladimir Putin probably took a lot of lessons from that, and it informed some of his approach here in the Ukraine. This is a very dangerous situation.
It is, and Putin keeps hitting the buttons. He knows exactly what he's doing, and I just don't know that our president is paying nearly as much attention. I don't think it's a big deal, Tim. I really don't, that the U.S. isn't anything, is something special in the middle of this. Carl DeMaio with us. What do you make? Get back one more on the domestic front here. Because, you were at City Hall for years. You talked a lot about the streets, the potholes, the, as they call it, infrastructure, which is a word that tends to bore everyday people. You talk potholes, they get into politics then. But Mayor Faulkner has come out with a new plan, much more specific. You okay with it, what you've seen so far?
Absolutely. It takes the plan that I released in 2012, the Fixed Congress, the Save Our Streets plan, and it lays out for every dollar the city brings in new this year, half of that dollar first goes into infrastructure. 50% of every new dollar that the city's collecting this year will go into infrastructure projects, and I had proposed that model in an infrastructure lockbox, and basically saying if we start taking every new available dollar and we put that into infrastructure, we can actually rebuild our city. And so I'm very pleased to see that that's the vehicle by which this budget has been put together, and it's the right way to go.
All right, CarlDeMaio.com. You can find out more. And very interesting election heating up on a lot of fronts. You got the primary to deal with as well. Some of the other candidates, a lot of good people in the middle of this. And you're getting the endorsement from the Howard Jarvis Taxpayers Association. That is a big, big plus today, obviously. And I know you're proud of it. Should be. We got to watch them in Sacramento, too, because they're trying to slip through and, as they say, revisit Prop 13. So no. Hold the line. Thanks, Carl. Appreciate it. All right, 1170 KC.